Okay, so we're gonna do a quick warm up with joint rotations. I'll do the movement a couple of times, and then I would expect people to do it maybe 5 or so times on each side. And while people are doing more repetitions, I would explain and demonstrate what it's for. So just warming up with basic foot circles, clockwise, counterclockwise, and then do knee circles, then hip circles. Okay, then hand circles, elbows, shoulders, and then neck. And so 5 for each. And so it's a decent warm-up, and it moves throughout every section of your limbs, which warms up all the corresponding muscle groups in between. More importantly, this is the foundation of locking and throwing. So you circle the foot inwards, outwards. Okay. Same thing for the knee. Same for the hip. And then all together, there's your sweep. Locks the entire leg up, twists every muscle in the leg in tandem. And for the arms, when you're snaking the arms around, it's that circling. And so that coiling creates these little levers which are going to be used in the boxing section. All right. So basic boxing has punch numbers. You've got jabs, hooks, and then uppercuts. Okay, everybody does them a little bit differently depending on what they're trying to do with the hand that's not striking. Footwork is very similar, and so it's almost always 70-30, 60-40. So when you do this, turn one foot out, step the other foot forward, and then keep it so there's a channel between your heels. Okay? Do that, wrap the legs, and then put one forward, one back. Chinese boxing does this. Western boxing will want something like this. I prefer this because you are pulling and you are deflecting with the hammer edge of the fist when you do it. And so the purpose is to jab at them as you're deflecting. And that creates a smoother chain of motion. And so basic jabs, twisting back and forth. A lot of boxing will do something where, they twist one hand, out, and then they twist the leg in. Twisting the leg in breaks the chain of movement up through the hip and into the torso. So when you keep it still, you've got a different kind of drive. You're still twisting the leg, it's just that the foot's on the ground, so it moves up through the torso, into your chest, into your arm. And so do that, and then for hooks, same thing. I would just stay in place for now, and then circle one in. As this comes around, circle it down, and circle the other one in. And so you're twisting them around. And so that hooking movement in the punch allows you to lock, and it also allows you to strike at the same time. Quick thing with uppercuts, and then we'll go over a follow step. So same stance, 70-30, 60-40. Take one hand, roll it down, and then roll this up for the uppercut. So you've got a front uppercut, back uppercut, front, back. Smaller movements, smaller circles. A lot of boxing will keep the elbow out. That is a problem because you're essentially declaring open season on your rib cage. So when you throw a punch with the elbow out, this is now open. There, there. And it's easier to lock a straight arm than it is one that is bent. And so when you've got this keeps the armpit closed, it keeps it defended. It also structures the punch into your chest and into your back, and you'll feel it in your chest and scapula. And so that structure is maintained throughout each of the movements. And so in terms of footwork, if you hold your arms up in just a generic guard, Chinese and Japanese martial arts are more fond of this, guards the upper body, blocks the groin. Boxing does this, lower, middle, upper, and that's fine, but it means you have to defend your legs with your legs. And it's harder to hook and throw or deflect with one arm when you hold your hands like that. And so when you do that, if we just go back to a basic jab, what you do is you'll pick the front foot up, heel first, and then you will drive with the back foot. And so that follow puts a lot more power into the punch. It also works your legs in a more cohesive manner. And so what that heel toe is a forward stomp. And so you're stumping the leg and the foot as you come in with the jab. So you create problems for the upper and lower body. That also moves everything in your torso more cohesively. So you're working your arms, you're working your legs, you're working your core. Everything moves in tandem. And so from that, we'll go over basic kicks. Almost every martial art has more or less the same set of kicks. I like to do these with the arms out. And so the reason is when you do that, first of all, this is for spreading the arms. When you do a high kick, you want to spread the arms out. You'll see it in MMA and UFC fights. They'll do a flying knee and they will spread the arm out. Okay? Otherwise, it gets caught, the move's not going to work. That's part of it. The other part is that it trains you to kick the hand. Okay? That feeling of getting the hand kicked, gives you more of a reflex to grab the legs for throws and breaks. It also develops more nuanced hand-eye coordination than just keeping your hands up. And so, keeping the right foot turned out 45 degrees, just hold your arms out, lift the leg up, stomp forward, set it down. Same thing, lift up, stomp forward. For this, keep the back straight. There are aesthetic purposes where you'll lean back, okay? But when you do that, you're leaning back with an arm bar. And you're doing that to create distance between you and your opponent. And so that's better for film, that's better for core work. Not necessarily something you want to use for fighting. And so same thing, keep doing 5 or so of the movement. And from this basic snap, we'll develop some more interesting variations. And so from there, you've got an outside kick. And so the reason I'm pulling it back is because for that, that's an arm bar. So you've got the arm bar, you're stomping the leg, and then you're driving it down as you step forward. And so that transitions into a number of things. So, in combat arts like Bagua or Sistema, they'll kick it out, and then they'll twist it over and they'll go for the other leg. Okay, they're keeping the leg low. For things that are flashier and more film oriented, there's stuff like like a Jin Kamaza kick. So for that, if you're just kind of holding the arms out in a guard, you kick out, you raise the leg up, and you kick up. So it's out, knee, up. So it's the same circling, but it's flashier. High kicks are not good in actual combat. They are good for the screen. That's what people will want because they look good. High kicks are also really good for developing core power, strength, and flexibility. So it's kind of important to differentiate between all of them. All right. And so with that very cursory overview in mind, we'll just go over basic stretches. And so same thing, repeat it, 5 or so times each side, hold it for about 10 seconds. So we're going to do a modification of a basic toe touch. So roll the arms out, put the hands together, drill them down, stretch to the front. If you do yoga, this is a basic sun salutation. So from here, take the right leg, lift it off the ground, and straighten it. Same thing with the left leg, lift it off the ground and straighten it. Okay? So that stretches the legs out, 4 kicks. That movement that you're holding is essentially the finished end of a butterfly kick or an axe kick or any kick with the legs in a more like split position. Okay? The version with the hands on the ground is easier. Capoeira will spin around and deliver kicks with the arms on the ground. Most martial arts won't. And so, all right, I'll cut here. Okay, so last thing is just basic upper body conditioning with a focus on balance and endurance. Strength will come later, and so a lot of commercial gyms will have people do bird dogs, and so you'll lift the opposite arm and opposite leg up. So do it on your knees, and then if you can do it, hold the push-up position, do the same thing, lift one arm up, lift the other arm up, lift one leg up, lift the other leg up, opposite arm, opposite leg. Okay? And so that teaches a lot of balance and coordination, so you can alternate your limbs. But all we have to do is just flip over to reverse the muscle activation. So lift your left hand up, move into a side plank. If you can, rotate over and end up in a back plank. Okay? If a full back plank is too difficult, bend your knees. And so from here, it is going to be the same thing, different plane of motion. So one arm up, one leg up. Okay, with everything straight. Okay. And so if you do gymnastics or capoeira or anything of this sort, you'll recognize the transitions for cartwheels and flips just by doing that.